What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Working hard today after trolling all over Instagram. I brought on my friend Tim Jackson out of Dallas, Texas. Why? Because today we've got to talk about Dallas. Dallas is changing rules, and poor Austin fell out of the top 10 places for people to relocate. We number 13 now, Tim. They mad with us. They say it's too
Well,
expensive
we know
here.
you coming. We know you're going to eventually move up to Dallas. So I've been telling everybody
The
Dallas is where it's at. But Dallas ain't a black city though. For all the black people that's trying to come here, I'm telling you
Listen,
right now, you're gonna be disappointed. It's not a
I,
black city
I was in
by any
Fort Worth
stretch of
and
the
I thought I
imagination.
needed Spanish. I said, "Did I need the Spanish dictionary when I came here?" Nobody told me. Nobody told
It's
me,
not a
Tim.
black city. It's not progressively black people at all. I'm just throwing it out there. A lot of people come and feel like, especially people that come from the East Coast, they're like, man, why does it feel so far? You guys seem so behind on certain things. It's because we're
Mhm,
still one of the most segregated cities in the nation, divided
mhm.
by Interstate 30. So, yep, just putting it out there.
Yeah, I felt like I was in San Antonio when I was in Fort Worth this weekend. I was like, nobody told me this. So anyway, so let's go ahead and pop up the article here. I want to go over
Let's
it.
do it.
Look at them, those bright, shiny faces. Okay. On the left is City Councilwoman Janie Schultz and Dallas Director of Housing David Nuera. So, already just letting you know, blackface but Spanish name, just dropping it down there. Okay, so Dallas considers restrictions on real estate investors. The Texas city may follow Canada in taking measures to stop investors from buying up the dwindling housing supply. So let me go on down here. It says that it alleges the exploitation of home sales by REITs, and that's RITs, REITs, and other single family home investors. Texas fast climbing home prices have been heavily impacted by home buyers. The demand has yet to reach the ceiling. Many home buyers are being priced out of the market by investors. The median home prices in North Texas jumped 22% year over year in March. Dwindling supply has also wreaked havoc on the regional market. North Texas only has 767 new listings hit the market in March, down from 93% in March 2021. Wow, that's Tim. That's crazy. And people say we're got 767 listings. That's a ton. No, no, no. We're talking about Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. We're talking about 500 people a day at one point, but it's really 250 people a day moved to Dallas. E- That ain't no houses, y'all. That ain't no houses. He said, "Are we working on bigger policy regarding the scourge of investment buyers?" It's across the country where individuals are no longer buying homes, but REITs are. They should completely cut off foreign investors. Listen to that word there, y'all. In this case, foreign means anybody that isn't registered in Texas. Okay. Global investors, as well as Wall Street investors, wouldn't be able to plunge local economies. Okay. This legislation is nobody's brand new. They're talking about Canada's doing it. Uh, but let's go ahead and hit that, Tim. They're saying it's all these foreign people coming outside of Texas buying up stuff. That's why there's nobody have no houses. But me and you might have a different idea. But you go ahead first. You live in Dallas. You tell me what's
Ah,
going on in Dallas.
I,
93% is a big cut though. And I remember last year on YouTube, all the YouTubers March they was moving to Texas.
yeah. So I actually, to give some context to the story, and shout out to everybody watching, specifically the Classy Climb blog family. Yeah, man. I giving context to the story, I actually served on the zoning commission with Janie Schultz, the lady pictured in the photo. She
Disclaimer,
represents a
disclaimer.
district far north Dallas, or middle north Dallas. So it was interesting serving with her. But I'll say this. I'll say this right here. The city of Dallas has a lot of problems, specifically at the city of Dallas. There was a program that the city of Dallas recently had. Any type of city program that's geared towards helping people buy real estate or putting people in a better position to acquire real estate has always failed. And I'll say that out loud. I don't really care how anyone feels. I've attempted to use their programs as a real estate broker prior to becoming a zoning commissioner, and none of my clients were ever successful at acquiring their grants. The programs came and they went. They had programs such as like Operation Knockdown, where they paired with the Texas National Guard, I believe it was, to if you owned a property that was in a bad neighborhood, that they would tear down the house for you for free in efforts for you to develop something new. That program went away. Me and my wife were actually we actually signed up for that program because we had purchased a property that we wanted to demolish and rebuild.
Mhm.
Got approved for it. Never heard anything back from the city, and then we randomly got a call. Actually, we didn't get a call. I finally just reached out. I kept reaching out to them. The lady
Mhm.
finally told me, "Oh, we stopped doing this program." They had the land bank program where you could purchase properties, land
I
for
remember that.
$5,000 at one point. But there's so many stipulations to that. Like a regular person watching this podcast or this broadcast right now couldn't just go down to the city of Dallas and purchase the property. You'd have to literally
Mhm.
prove that you were a developer, which essentially is the same people in this article that they're trying to limit from purchasing homes. Like, do you understand like the inconsistencies that you have there? So you have a land bank that says you can purchase this land or you can purchase these properties from the city, but you can't purchase them unless you're a developer. Now that the developers have come in and taken over, if you will, or acquired so many properties, now they're trying to limit them. So, and there's still a housing shortage. Like, I had a woman call me yesterday or 2 nights ago at midnight, Erica. Midnight,
Damn.
midnight. Now you know
Like,
I
girl, I'm in the
retired from
bed.
real estate, but a house that I previously had listed as a rental went back on the market, and I guess my name popped up. And the lady called me at midnight, 12:02. I can show you the missed call.
She was serious about it.
And left a message on my cell phone, on the phone that was listed previously. And then she called back the next morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning, was like, "Hey, I was calling about your property." Like, that's just how desperate people are to find properties here. And I hate to say I told you so, but Erica, you've been rocking with me for at least 5 years now, right?
Yep.
What was I doing super heavy 3 to 5 years ago when as it related to people buying houses in South Dallas, East Dallas, Pleasant Grove, Oak Cliff? Promoting it.
Yeah. Come
Guys,
buy this house. Come buy these
there
houses.
buy the houses, buy these houses, buy these houses. There were an abundance of properties available for 25, 30, $40,000, $50,000. And people looked at me like I was crazy when I said to buy those properties. So we bought them. And now the same people can't find anywhere to live. So it's kind of a catchy situation because people didn't act on the opportunity. So then the corporations acted on the opportunity. Now the corporations got that long money. So that's what corporations do. That's what capitalism does. Capitalism controls it, buys everything. That's why it's called capitalism, right? And then they come in and they control the rates. That's why we see the issues happening right now with taxes. Our taxes were recently due. I can't tell you on the last day how many phone calls I got. Like, how do I file my taxes? How do I dispute? How do I dispute? It's like, one, you waiting to the
You should
last
have
day.
been. You
Two,
should have been did that.
you stuck, homie. Like everybody taxes went up, right? But that wouldn't have happened if people would have acquired the property when they should have acquired the property instead of waiting the next year or waiting until the rates go down, waiting until the market crashes. The market ain't never crashing out here, man. Ever. And I'll say it. Nobody, some people won't say it. It ain't crashing because we are building out, not up. There's infinite amount of land that's habitable in Texas. Would you agree with that?
And this is what I keep trying to get people to understand. Like, people are in Austin still bidding 50K over. 50K over, y'all. I, let me put it to you like this. I'm from North Carolina, but I'm military Cleveland, Alaska, lived in several states and cities. But when I came to Texas, Texas has the attitude of when it comes to work and jobs, there's always a job. You ain't got a job, that's your problem. The sun's always great in Texas. You ought to be able to have find out and go get a job. Walk. It ain't raining. You can walk, right? The attitude too on the housing is, well, I remember two realtors, and I think they thought because I was not from Texas, I wasn't gonna have no attitude about it. But I was saying, yeah, they're saying all the black people in East Austin saying they're getting out. And this guy literally said while we're eating lunch at this event, well, if they ain't gonna do nothing but sit on the front porch anyway, they can move out. And I was like, oh shit. And so like I was a little bit stuck like Chuck, but I realized like you guys gotta understand, like, this is very much a place of why are you complaining? That's very much a Texas attitude. When I've been here, been in Houston, even in Houston, they like, well, move further out. move further out. What you crying about? Like, move further out. And so when people get here, I think they're shocked that Texans are like not having no sorrow. They ain't trying to hear these soap stories. They ain't trying to hear this. I'm struggling in Dallas. They be like, I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's why when people say, Erica, you so harsh. I'm like, no, baby. I'm very soft in comparison to how these Texans I run into that are like, don't care. I remember I
You
told a
know, we
realtor one
we
time I
we
wanted a
so
house.
harsh. I hate that, Erica. I hate when people say that. It's like people want you to pat them on the ass and hold their hand when it's time to make money and make decisions that's going to
Mhm.
benefit you. But they'll jump off the porch for some bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
Like
even
we
major
not we out
Texans.
of that time is up for that, man. Like I'm not convincing anybody to do anything. Though everybody who I was telling about houses 5 years ago, hey, buy these houses, buy these houses. They don't have nowhere to live, or they're complaining about the rates. Like I ain't tripping on taxes going up. I just raise the rent because the houses are paid off. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm not paying a mortgage and taxes,
Mhm.
but I was teaching everyone how to do this. Everyone how to do this, and nobody did it. You know who did it, Erica? People watching your show, people that were calling me from out of town, like, "Hey, this is
Listen.
crazy. Y'all got $25,000 houses. Where at?"
Well, and also too, you even have YouTubers coming from California. They know it should be even cheaper. So you had one dude, Beheza, he came out here and he was like, "Why are they so expensive in Dallas?" And the guy was like, "Cause we ain't got to make them any lower. Like you can go further out." And like I remember a couple had showed me this house they bought in Prosper. Now they didn't work inside Dallas; they worked further north. But like the house was so massive, I was like, "What y'all complain about?" Well, we live so far out from everybody else, but you own a house. Like, eh, you know how hard it is in America? Like, there's
And you know
people.
what? Prosper's closer now. You want to know why?
Mhm,
Because the president, the Dallas North Tollway is extended to Prosper now. Essentially, it stops at 380,
mhm,
Highway 380 for those who are familiar with the Metroplex, and they're extending it further. There used to be a time where that was a two-lane road to get out there, right?
mhm,
I can hop on the tollway and get to Prosper in 30, 45 minutes, which is a straight shot, no traffic.
mhm,
Because that's next to Prosper is Frisco, which is where the Cowboys complex is.
mhm,
Next to Frisco, you have Plano. Prosper's right in the middle. So you have Frisco, then you have Prosper, then you have Little Elm and a few other cities in between. Then you have Denton, which is the University of North Texas TWU, which is
mhm,
right off of 380. They're doing construction on 380. Like everything is getting closer now. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm,
like all those people that were like, oh, I don't want to buy too far out. Now too far out is actually kind of close because they're building up those areas. There's so much to do in Plano and Frisco now. When I
mhm,
lived out there, it wasn't nothing to do. And that was just 10 years ago.
mhm. I told you when I was in Prosper and I saw them kids driving golf carts in the master plan community, I said, "Y'all stop playing. Stop playing. These people are not playing with y'all in these schools, in these neighborhoods. It it really isn't a it really isn't a joke anymore." And so I was reading the article. I don't know if it was you might not heard me post it, but it was like they did a survey on like 93 cities, like 93% of the cities, major cities in the United States, black people can't afford to live in. And I'm like, y'all, like, okay, if you can't afford to live in the city, where's the next spot to go to? The rule, whatever the city is next to the city. And yet there is this resistance to moving further out. And so like if I'm calling around Dallas all day and all night and there's nowhere to live, okay, what's the next step for me, Tim?
I mean, you have no other choice but to either pay more or move further out. The thing is, what's your definition of further out? If I move further out north, it's going to probably be more expensive. A lot of people don't understand that too, right? And a lot of people mix Dallas and Fort Worth. Dallas and Fort Worth are not the same
Look,
place.
somebody in the chat said Fort Worth is not Dallas.
No, no, no.
It's
Dallas and
not,
Fort Worth are
but I'm
two
just saying
totally
I was
different
there this
worlds.
weekend
No,
and
not no
it was very
disrespect to Fort Worth.
Hispanic.
You might have a little bit more luck in Fort Worth if we keep it a buck. You might be able to find something out there in Fort Worth that's a little bit more cheaper. But Dallas and Fort Worth ain't the same world. It's like you're going into two different dimensions if we're gonna keep it real, right?
Hmm.
Because Dallas is the home of the $30,000 millionaire. So everybody's flashy. We trying to we extra in Dallas, right?
Right.
Fort Worth is more blue collar. It's more laid back, chill.
Oh, it's
It
blue
gives you
collar.
more of a smaller San Antonio vibe, right?
Yes.
And that's what they want to go for. But if you move further north, then you're talking about Collin County, right? So
Hmm.
it's going to be way more expensive in Collin County. Well, then what's the recourse? You move south. We all know everything south is going to be cheaper. But now that you go south, they're actually competing with the north prices because it's builders who are developing. And the builders are winning right now. Like you can't. Builders are up right now. They
Listen,
understand that they
you
got control. They're not paying commission. One dude,
listen.
this dude takes me every other week. Hey, I got some new lots, yada yada. Now I haven't sold a house from this guy about a year and a half, but I just randomly respond. I'm like, "Are you still paying 1%?" Yep. I will never take anyone.
Y'all, you see, I think people are listen. Somebody in the chat already done said this, and I keep telling y'all this. People will buy a house even if it's 10% rates, y'all.
I
You
don't.
know
I mean,
why?
I saw that comment.
Go ahead.
Our parents bought houses at 13, 14, fifteen
Thank you.
percent
Very regular.
Huh?
Very, yeah. I mean, I literally know a guy back in 2009 after the crash bought a house with 13%. And
I
everybody was
mean,
like,
like,
"What's
let's
going
keep it
on with
real.
you, man?"
How much do you think owner financing is? Owner finance be 10%.
Thank you.
Like, come on, y'all got to get out of that. That well, ain't nobody gonna buy. Then you crazy if you think ain't nobody gonna buy 10%. Like people buy 10% right now. The owner finance deals are 10%. They're not. They're
Yes.
no less than 7%.
They're 10%. I bought some land off some people.
They don't play that. They don't
They
play that
really
with owner
wanted 12,
finance.
but I was like, "Come on now, give me the 10. That's too much." So here's the thing about Dallas. I don't think y'all understand that. Like the thought of, I think one of I can try to think where they replaced where she moved to, but she went to the not to the left, but to the right of Dallas, and she got a house for 185 like 4 years ago.
So she went
Um,
east or west
so
on the
west
map. You said to the right, so
in my head,
that would
west
be
is
east.
prosper. East, she went
So
east.
you got Kaufman County, which is going to be like your Forney area. Uh, you know,
Probably somewhere
it's
close to there.
yeah.
But
It
she got it
used to
for
be
3 years ago.
cheap.
It was like 185. And people were like, "Oh, I wouldn't be that far out." And she's like, "Y'all, 185? I got it for 185." And it was
Yeah,
like
you
she was trying to convince the people at the table, and I was like, in my head, I was like, all I heard was 185. I was like, I don't give a damn. Like
and that's a
185 is a
straight
good
shot.
deal.
It's a straight shot. If you get on Interstate 20 or if you get on Highway 80, it's a straight shot in the downtown. It ain't no different than you driving from DeSoto or from Plano. It's no different.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my whole thing with people worried about that, he said he charged 12% on his own owner finance houses. There you go. You already
You know,
know.
I want. Can I say some? I see some people talking about the
Sure.
rates were higher, but the prices were cheaper.
Hmm.
My mother, she bought a house back in '89 or '88 at a 10% rate, and I bought a house in 2009 or 10 at like a 5% rate or 4% rate. I ended up refinancing to a three. She was paying a higher mortgage than me, and my property was double hers. And she actually paid it for the full term. And when you looked at the
Wow.
amortization rate and what
Hmm.
she paid more for that house that she bought for $90,000 at 12%
She bought it twice.
than I paid for my house. So like we gotta stop trying to like you don't have to be a contrarian all the time. Like people pay for what they want. Like if rent goes up, people gonna find a way to make that money to get that rent. So you just need to buy.
But also too, if you look at over there near Georgetown, I remember so many of the townhouses and the houses over there, they have a bunch of cars in the yard. They all piled in that bad boy. And that's what people will do. They'll go if you go in Georgetown to the Indian community that work at Dale, that make the money, could live independent. They be having 6, 7, 8 cars in the front yard,
And
these
you know what
giant
else they don't
houses.
have?
What?
They don't have car notes. They don't
Yeah,
have a
the
ton of
old
student
Toyotas.
loan debt. Like we get into debt. That's why we can't afford stuff. You can afford some at a 10 or a 12% rate if you weren't paying for everything else. But see, our thing is we're so in love with debt.
Where's Little Elm, Texas at?
Little Elm,
Yeah.
Little Elm is in Collin. Actually, it borders Collin and Denton County. A small piece falls in Collin County, but the majority falls in Denton County. Little Elm is where I actually sold one of my first houses. So I remember when Little Elm, before Little Elm High School was built, it was like one lane road. I went to go help a friend move in who bought a house. There was cows running down the street. Now it's like completely like it's like it's a city. It's like a 3-lane roads everywhere. Like
Hmm.
it gets off you can get to it from the tollway or Highway 380. Like it's very
Hmm.
developed over the last 10, 15 years. It's like night and day development. But
Right.
people were like, they were selling those houses in Little Elm for 120, 110, 140. Those same houses that we were selling for 110, 120, 140 are selling for 320 now.
And I also tell people are like, Erica, what's going on? It's hyperinflation. I won't front on you. But it's also the combination of the fact, y'all, that if you look at our parents, even in North Carolina, some people bought like $50,000, $75,000 houses. And then when it crashed in 2008, Countrywide was like, yo, you can buy your whole house right now for 25K. You got 25K card, credit, well, we take it. And people were like, oh man, I ain't got it. And investors came up and bought those houses, and people were mad. But I was like, you living in this house, you got these brand new cars, this furniture, you ain't got no reserves to buy or call a few family members to come together and buy and save this house. So a lot of times when people say about these prices, it's all relative. Do you know what I mean? Like Value Entertainment did a video where he talked about, if you look at 250,000 now and 100,000 back in 1980, it's the same for the price of the houses, the price of the cost of living. He's like, if you make 250,000 now, it's equivalent to making 100,000 in 1980. And he was just showing the math on how much houses cost and all that stuff. But we really got to let go of that, because even if in the Southeast, even if you go to Columbia, South Carolina, you go to Baytown, Texas, way out in the middle of the extras, like there's still cheap properties, but you're gonna be way out there.
But then let me tell you what they do, Erica. They'll say, I don't want to drive that far out. I just tell people now, you don't want to own a real estate. Just say you don't want to own a real estate.
And so every year they're gonna complain about their rent every year, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear. I live here in Texas, here in Austin, y'all. There's a girl who's lived in the same exact apartment building for 8 years. And when people tried to get her as a teacher to do this teacher program around Austin, right? Because it had like no down payment. It was like a really nice program for
Heroes
police.
program. We had it here in Dallas.
Yeah, police officers and teachers and nurses. And she said, "Oh, these houses were only 80,000, and they didn't look that great. Them same houses she said were 80,000 didn't look that great because she's been in
300.
Austin. Yes, 300. They still ugly,
I
but guess
bought
what? They
one.
300.
Like I'm trying to tell people, like we bought them. We bought a house for 60 grand. It's like three something now. And I was telling people, like, get these houses. Like, you don't even have to live there. You only got to live there for a year, I think, to satisfy. I think the grant back in the day said
Yeah,
you had to live there for 5 years
for like a
to
year or
satisfy.
something.
But
Well,
it's a hero program.
part of my complaint too is, I know you're saying Dallas went back and forth wishy washy on the programs, but it's almost like in Austin, they have this program where they're trying to help you with homeowner down payment assistance. And the program was created for Section 8 and Project Livers. So they would go to all the doors and put a paper note, a little flyer on all the doors. You can come, you can learn how to buy real estate, you get this down payment. You don't even have to pay it back. If you make your mortgage on time payments for 1 year, you don't have to pay this $15,000 back. And every year, guess who would be there? White people, students, me one year, a bunch of Asian people that just moved to Austin. It would be like one or two people per quarter from the actual projects that were there. And
Why
they
do you think that
giving you
is?
15,000. They come in, and so it's like, how much do you want the city to market to the people?
Man, I don't
How
want to
how
turn
long
this show
how
into
long
something. I don't want to get off the topic, man. I could talk for hours about that.
But
You
I'm
know
just
what?
trying to, I'm like, how
I
long do
got a
you want
whole
Dallas to do
campaign
that?
I'm launching on that very topic. We got money for everything else but wealth building. And we can conceive and figure out everything else. But when somebody come to you talking about let's build some wealth, all of a sudden that shit is trigonometry or advanced, mathematics, and we just can't figure it out. Oh, let me pray about it. That's my favorite one. Let me pray about it.
Why when my mama do that when we get in an argument? Well, let me pray. I'm like, well, you just
Let
say
me
no.
pray about it.
Just say no and get it
I,
immediately.
I used to be so cold with it back in the day. I'd be like, well, let's pray right now. Do this together. We can touch and agree. But
Well,
when it comes time to do some old corny stuff, when it comes time to show out for the gram or do whatever, you know, we all for that. I mean, I don't know, man. Like it's so many programs that used to be out there that water that well has dried up because everyone took advantage of it, but the people that should have taken advantage of it didn't, and now we're complaining about people raising the rents on us. You know what I'm saying?
well, I told you about the hotel industry. They got hit with a bunch of lawsuits because of social civil rights and discrimination. And so they said, all right, all right, all right, we'll make a minority program so y'all can own hotels. Well, who showed up to get the hotel money? The Indians. Now Patels own 48% of the whole
Man, they
hotel
own
industry.
every.
Like
You
they
know
they
what? I
they
think
cracked the
I
door
think it
open
was
like
your
this,
show that put
and
me
they
on to
kicked
that
it
because
open.
you did a show one night. It was a couple years ago, and I was like, man, I never knew that. So they were building. You've been in my office several times. They built 4 new hotels by my office in the last 2 years. I went and looked at the construction. The name on the construction, the site, the owners, they were all Indian.
Patels. Uh, they're not playing.
All four hotels.
They're not playing, y'all.
They not playing,
They
man.
left it. They left the door open a crack and they kicked it through. That's why when I be out here trying to talk to y'all and y'all be trying to convince me about petty gender war stuff and petty stuff, I'm like, y'all, these people out here running laps around us. Just
It's gonna be
laps.
too late. It's gonna be
It's
too
just
late. And it's like,
laps.
Erica, can we talk about this?
Hmm.
Can we talk about how these cities and municipalities and these counties are raising taxes 40% in some cases,
Hmm.
and they're putting it off on landlords like you and I, but then we're expected not to raise the rent.
Hmm. That's why when people said defund the police, I said, well, what how they defunding them? Because they raising the rents. They funding the hell out of them right now.
We're expected not to raise the rent. Like we have one property. The lady's a nice lady. She's a great tenant. We could have raised her rent like $500,
Hmm.
easy.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, I'd rather have the peace of mind knowing that I have a good tenant
Hmm.
than to kind of put her out there like that. You know what I'm saying? So I adjusted. I think I adjusted like $200, and she was cool with that. We signed a 18-month lease, so I gave her a little extra time. But it's like I could have easily went up $500 on her, easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's like the
it was
onus,
being kind.
it's on us. It's on
Mhm.
us as the business owners to give them a break, but ain't nobody giving us no breaks like that. So then it's like a damn if you do, damn if you don't. If
But
I'm
imagine if
owing,
it
if my
wasn't you.
taxes on this house is $7,000 a year, and the rent is 1,200 or 1,500, well, damn,
That ain't
that's
gonna
4 or 5 months worth of rent going to taxes.
Well, but this is the thing I want people to understand that there's a post on what you're saying, and the guy was like, "Well, we don't need more black people buying up properties if y'all just gonna charge us like the white people." I said, "Are you serious? You want us to come into the community, buy in risky, dangerous areas, build brand new construction or rehab construction, and then rent it to you for 500?
So you
It
can
ain't.
go
It
give
don't
your
work
money to
that.
Louis Vuitton.
It don't work that way. And go on vacation to Miami every
Yeah, so
time
you
you
can
want.
go get a Benz, get your money to them. So we got to take a cut. So
Somebody got
you
to
can go
take a cut
splurge with
here."
them.
And so that's why I'd be like, y'all, it's in this economy moving forward. And there's hierarchy at the classy climb. I'm not gonna front on you. Like we got people just looking for some ways to make money. I respect you. We got some people trying to start a business. I respect it. We got people trying to invest, and then we got people trying to build construction. Like I'm here. I'm here for it, right? But at some point, you have to look on the writing on the wall that either you own or you just shut up. But they don't care. Like the food, the cost of food, the cost of housing, that's just is what it is, right? This guy was like, minimum wage needs to be $15. For what? If you
So you can
15
go
ain't
out there
even
and
gonna
get some
take
more
care of
debt.
you. 15 ain't even gonna take care of you, baby. You need to go find a skill. And people get real mad about that. But I was
They get
like, yeah,
mad about that.
it's
You
rare
know,
that somebody makes
everybody
$15 an
talking
hour.
about gas. Damn gas. Avocados are like $2 a piece right now.
In Texas, it's a struggle. We love avocado out here.
Like, think about that. Like, food is so expensive, but we're not even talking about that. Like, we're not even talking about that. Like, it's people got to get out their feelings and start getting to this business and getting to this money. And I mean, there's legit people who have shown you receipts for year after year after year, and you still question it. Like, you ain't trying to grow. Just say that. I'd rather people just tell me, I ain't trying to grow. I ain't trying to be great. I just want to kind of flow through, than to blame the system. Like the system is doing exactly what it's designed to do.
Yeah, I mean, you can float, but you're gonna be out in the middle of sticks floating. You won't be in the city no more. Like I told you, when I drove from North Carolina to Tampa, Florida, and I drove through on 301 through some of these real sad towns, and it was like people chilling on old hotels, sitting on the front porch of the old hotel, like in front of their room. I'm like, that's where lack of planning and floating gets you. Like, and it's no, they got to live somewhere, right? People got to live somewhere. But I want you to understand, like nothing of value comes without work. Nothing. Like you can't even get your wife without trying to get her. You know what I'm saying? Like that don't even make sense. You
I had to put a little work in.
stop it, Tim. Tim was
I
like,
put a
"Hey,
little
baby,
work in. I'm agreeing with you.
baby, baby, baby," and and
I
so
had to put
that's
a
why
little work. I didn't. I wasn't simping, but I put some work in.
I hate y'all in that simple word. But anyway,
I know. I always said just to mess with you.
find me a simp. Bring me him. Okay. Now, So Renee said Rockwall is east of Dallas. Not really cheap either, but you get more for your cash coming from New York. Because somebody was in the
Yeah,
chat saying,
Rockwall has never been cheap, for the record. Rockwall
okay.
is a lake city. It sits on Lake Ray Hubbard. So Rockwall has never been cheap. That's Rockwall County too. Different, they different law enforcement out there. Don't do nothing
What you
stupid in Rockwall. You will get the book thrown at you.
are they the 10 to 15 when
Oh
everybody's
no,
5
no,
to
yeah,
10?
there's a kid that I knew his family very well. He made a mistake fresh out of high school, first year of college, went out to Rockwall and got into some trouble, man. They offered him 15 years. That was the first offer. He had never been in trouble, great student. He just got caught up with the wrong group. But back to the real estate side, Rockwall has always been more expensive than Dallas
Mhm.
because it's built around a lake. So, and it's close proximity to the lake. So you might get away with going out to like Heath, which is a little bit further out, or McClendon Chisholm, which is a little bit further out. They have you'll find a lot of acre lots out there. But if you're trying to get like a, you know, 50, 80-foot lot, 2,000 square feet, you're gonna pay more in Rockwall than you're paying Dallas. And
Right,
they've
right, right.
been high in Rockwall.
Boy, y'all be tearing this phone up. Somebody said EJ from NYC, 499 super chat with the pretty dog picture. Visited DFW last year from New York to look and didn't buy. Man, I regret it now that I'm living here. Even godly Texas high. I don't know where that is. Here as almost New York prices.
I know the feeling, EJ. Me and my wife passed on a multifamily 4 unit, 800 square feet per unit, 2 bedrooms per unit, a bath and a half per unit. We could have got that thing for 250. It's 490 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't the only one that's done missed out. I've missed out on deals too. But the thing is, get in while you can.
For sure, for sure. John Ditka, 1976, 8%. 1979, 11%. 1981, 16%. Yeah, them house rates weren't no joke.
Gotta look at the administration too. Who's in office then?
hmm He said three bedroom, two bath, under 2,000 square feet for 350. I mean, EJ, that's a pretty good deal though.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh Lord, not the. Listen, you doing too much. Blocked
What's
for the
that?
night. He was just saying you move out to these edge of these nowhere townies, it's like 1839. Y'all gonna get an N-word wake up call. Like, chill out. We don't need white supremacy in the chat tonight. Chill it out.
Man, we don't operate in fear. But black people,
Like,
y'all gotta
black
y'all
people
hey,
so scary. Oh,
get away from them fear mongers. Like, I get so sick.
oh, them
We
white
we
people
tough
gonna
when it
get
comes to
you.
everything else. Like, you
Now, if a
know,
black man bump your shoes, you gonna knock his teeth out
you're
his
gonna
mouth.
blow his brains out. You scared about going
Good
somewhere.
gracious.
I wish somebody would. I've lived
Chicken,
out in every
chicken,
area and I've
chicken.
never had a problem with letting the person know what it was.
What's funny is I was in Pensacola, Florida. People like careful. The Panhandle got the rednecks, and they do now. But
Oh, they
everybody goes,
do.
"How you doing, sweetie? How you doing, sweetheart? You have a good day. You have a good day too." Like I want to see you in my face because I'm ready. Like, you ready? I'm ready. Let's do what we gonna do. um, Shout out to the panel for sure. They said all the motels in Atlanta are East Indian. Oh yeah, I
That's
believe it.
everywhere. That's everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's everywhere.
But they also moved to rural places, bought that hotel, lived in it, ran it, and that would give them the discount on the next one.
The very first time I saw a family operate a grocery store with a house on top,
hmm
it was an Indian family. The girl actually went to school with her, and they still have that property until this day. I didn't even know you could do that because we didn't really see that a lot in Texas. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? We're so spread out. And now you're seeing them building those types of units here in Texas where it's storefront at the bottom and then housing on top. You guys, that's a lick in itself if you could own a
Really?
building like that and then
hmm
have your business below.
That's very much
But
in New Jersey feel. Somebody said, yes, Erica, don't raise the rent while I go play games with Pookie and Peanut. You eat the cost, work hard, and wise. Y'all so silly. Somebody said, what do I think about 3D homes? Y'all, it's stupid. It's very expensive, and you got to dig in concrete walls to fix stuff. That don't make no sense. The math ain't mathing.
all right, let me ask you this. What you think about them container homes?
They fit, but only on like some sides of town or like east side or in the country. They don't
You
work
can't
well
do
in
them
the city.
here because of the fire. It's like a fire code won't allow you to do it.
Yeah. It's hard to. I mean, it would just be hard. It's hard for them to fit in neighborhoods. Somebody said, "Brother Jackson, you're spot on." Sorry, I'm about to laugh. You're spot on about the onus being placed on landlords to close funding gaps for communities and multiple. Y'all can't talk tonight. Lawsuits need to be prepared. Let me see. Y'all got a lot in here. What's up, Mr. Boykins? Starting to buy short-term rentals around hospitals for traveling nurses. Congratulations, man. That's the move. Them nurses will
That's a
be
move.
working.
Just make sure that you stay on top of the laws. Like here in Dallas, they're trying to prohibit short-term rentals. They're definitely making you register them, or they're actually trying to prohibit how many you can register. And of course, if you don't register, you'll be out of compliance. So when just that's a lick. And also another lick that a lot of people are missing out on, Boykin, is the recovery houses. Like when people go and fly in for
With the
surgeries and stuff like that.
BBLs. Hmm.
Like, start looking into them recovery houses, man. Like, it's real big. It's popping off in Florida. But we're actually looking into recovery houses.
Well, I can't tell you. I mean, I can tell you a little bit, but also the group home. We have a
Yeah, if you
student.
so it's funny you said
We got a
there's someone
student.
trying to put a group home in our neighborhood. My my wife said, "Did you see that notice? You better show up to the meeting and say you don't want it." I mean, the group
It
homes will work
depends
in
on the
certain
type.
areas.
It depends on the group home, right? This one is like elderly people. Like they got elderly people, so
Yeah, but
but
you
it still
say that
brings certain
now,
drama.
but the way I don't know how it works there, but once you get that
No,
that
he's in Dallas.
huh?
He's in Dallas. This person.
So here's the thing. Once you change zoning, it doesn't matter what type of group home it is. Does that make sense?
Ah,
So
yeah,
you can say I'm doing it for elderly, but once you transfer ownership, the other next person might want to do it for kids, or next person might want to do it for drug addicts. So like
right.
that's the big thing here. Like, when you change zoning, however the law interprets that zoning, anybody can apply. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Williamson County is tough here. Like, I'm in Travis County, I'm right at the line, but Williamson County is like, you do 5 to 10 in Travis, you're doing 10 to 15 in Williamson, right? You want to do a new store? No, Williamson County don't want it. Whatever it is, they don't want it, right? They tried to put a hookah lounge out there. They ran them Muslim folks up out there, and now they're trying it again. They sued the city, so I said, you gonna let them put their hookah lounge out there? They ain't playing with y'all. They gonna sue. Um, but yeah, there's a lot. There's that's why I tell people in real estate, there's a million ways to make money. So you hear people be like, "Well, I don't want to buy a house and I'll be stuck with a house because I'm trying to move." That is the patheticest answer I've ever heard in my life. Like you act like a house is a brick on your neck. You can do 20,000 things with a house. It's just choices. Um. Oh Lord, stop it! Stop it!
What's that?
He said, "Whenever I see people living out of hotels, I always think so. The pipe was more appealing than the roof, huh?"
It's a couple shady little hotels next to my office, and it'd be the same people standing out in the corner every day saying they need money for food, and then they go over there and live. They go over there and
In the
get their hit.
hotel. Hmm.
Yeah, and then they live in the hotels.
Oh man, y'all got some most super chats in here. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Hello, Erica. Great channel. However, I bought a house in Lake Town, and within my first year, I had 4 very scary incidents. What does that mean? Is Lake Town in Texas? I'm just trying to make sure. Let me know. Somebody said a ghost. Yo, listen. I'm not trying to freak y'all out, but we've
I
had
think they talking
two.
about. I think they talking about clan sheets when they say that.
Oh, there's been 2 birds running to this window since they cleaned this glass. And I'm like, just stop cleaning the glass. Leave it dirty. Let me see what else y'all got here. Oh, Texas barndominiums. Those I can get jiggy with. But them container homes, I'm like, blah.
Yeah, you see in the barn dominiums more in the rural areas though. You don't really see those in the city.
Mm. Y'all, listen, I drove past leaving Meridian. I was leaving a Granbury, Texas, and it takes you through this little it's a country drive, right? You're going through Meridian, you're going through all these little towns, and there is a farm called Sundown Farms. And every time I drive by, I be want to take a picture, but I be like, nah, not today. Y'all not gonna get me today.
Well, here's
Like,
the thing about that, Erica. So somebody said something about the sundown towns, which are everywhere. I mean, these sundown towns don't be in metropolitan areas for the most part. They be 100 miles out. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like 200 miles. They be rural. They be really rural. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
so people have to take that into consideration. If you're moving out to a super rural area, then yeah, you want to do your research. I mean, if I was moving to the inner city somewhere, I'm gonna do my research, but it ain't no sundown town 10 minutes outside of Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Nah,
don't
too
work
many
like
black
that.
people.
Now,
Too many black people.
Yeah, now if you go a
Um,
little bit further west, I know for a fact we hit a sundown town when I went to San Marcos. It was just an interesting little drive going West Texas, but you know,
well, listen, Florence and Taylor, that are right outside of Georgetown, used to be the home of the Klan. People don't understand the Bill Pickett Rodeo. Bill Pickett, they got statues of him now, but they ran all the black people out of that place for a long time. So,
Collin
so
County
there's,
had the largest Klan membership in Texas at one point.
yeah, and these people are the grandchildren and great grands of lots of folks. So, my REITs are up 12% today. Even if you can't afford a down payment on a house, you can at least own some REITs. Yeah, I mean, I would say own all type of REITs except for New York REITs. I feel like New York REITs are about to drop a fanny on y'all because there's a lot of empty buildings in New York. Let me see. Boy, y'all got a lot in here. Look, Terrence said, I never thought about recovery care. I like it.
I
uh,
sat on a live and I thought to myself, man, that's so dope. Like,
mhm,
because when people come into town for plastic surgeries or stuff like that, like they want to recover,
mhm,
and so they don't want to hop back on a plane, right away. And this I can't think of the girl's name right now, but she's got this down to a science. Like they got recovery rooms, and they're just nice houses. They look like little Airbnbs,
mhm.
and they killing it. And if I'm not mistaken, depending on the surgery, the insurance pays for it.
Hey now, that's what I'm talking about. What up, Tim and Erica? Quick question, Erica. How San Marcos? Are there any houses or land lots worth buying there, or the area worth living? San Marcos is just like everywhere else. Like Tim did a speech in what's the name of that school? Texas State University.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, when I'm down there, it just be like old inventory. You got a lot of old inventory that people are like, isn't that cute? If you put 50K in that old little house and make it cute again, I'm like, no, get rid of that shit. But you got to remember, anything below Austin to San Antonio is an emerging market, and they're trying to figure out how to grow it, how to develop it. I mean, you again, when people are trying to like analyze something for 6, 7, 8, 9 years, you're not gonna get it. Like you have to actually get in the market and find something. If you don't find anything, that's a position. Just don't buy. But like, a lot of times people are like, well, what about this area? What about that area? I'm like, y'all, it just is what it
And
is.
I misspoke when I said San Marcos earlier. I meant to say San Angelo in West
Okay,
Texas.
thank you. I was like, San Marcos?
No, San Angelo. That's
It
near
cut out.
Goodfellow Air Force Base is where we went. West Texas. It was interesting out there. It was interesting to say the least.
I know a lady
Um,
whose daughter moved out there, and I was like, for what?
yeah, it's the only thing
It
out
didn't
there is the
sound
Air
right.
Force Base. You got Angelo State University out there too. But I said San Marcos. I meant San Angelo. My
She bought a
apologies to all
ranch
the
out
people out
there.
there. San Marcos. San Marcos is actually,
Very nice.
essentially located between Austin and San Antonio. It's not that bad, but it's a college town.
Hmm. I call it a retirement town, but it is a college town. Okay, re-up said Arlington, Mansfield, DeSoto, Duncanville, Lancaster still have homes for less than 400,000. Indians are buying DeSoto and Duncanville.
Where them houses at for under $400,000? That's because if you don't have to get on the waiting list, if it's a builder,
Hmm.
like you're gonna have to get on a waiting list. And where they at?
I'm gonna put DeSoto in right here for y'all.
Where they at?
Well, and also here's the thing, y'all. We be taking
Dun-
too long to make a decision.
Yeah,
Oops, I put Iowa. Sorry, y'all.
Duncanville doesn't have new development either. Duncanville is completely developed, so there's no new development there. Their houses are going to typically be older.
Look at
Um,
DeSoto. Let me do it by. You said what's the price point we looking at? Let me go lowest price.
and if
And
they
you,
are, they're going to be pre-existing. Let me see what they're looking like.
I'm put single family. Am I putting townhouses too, or just single family?
Yeah, yeah, I want to see it.
Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna look
Arlington's
at
a
it.
little bit different because you got two sides of Arlington. You got the 30 side and the 20 side. The 20 side is going to be more new development. The
So
30
look at
side is
this
going to be more old
205
development by
right
the
there.
stadium.
It's pending, and it look old with
Let me
with the
see it.
gates. This right here with the gated on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, there you go. Right there you go.
When we live here, y'all, it's different. Like, look at the backyard to the neighbors and the slope and the. This is
Y'all, when
this
you
is
go in them
old
houses, they
rental.
be listen to me, y'all. Trust me, y'all. Trust me, all right. When you go to them houses, they be complete renovations. FHA is not going to finance those houses. Like they're just not going to find them. Those houses are missing all the copper wiring out of them. Not these per se that you're showing, but the ones that we've looked at. You go in there, those houses look like somebody been hoarding in them, or been what's the word when people just stay in your house?
Squatting.
squatting in them. Like you're not gonna find a $200,000 or $300,000 a house under $300,000 that doesn't need $50,000 worth of work.
This one only got 2 pictures, so you already know what's about to happen.
Somebody said they see houses
Uh,
in $400,000 in Lancaster. Would you buy it? Would you buy it? Is my question.
this looks like what I thought it would look at for 280 in
Would you
Central.
buy it?
Can you
That's
start
all
it?
I'm asking. Would you
Can y'all
buy
see
it?
the pictures, y'all?
Huh?
Y'all already know I'm not buying that. But
And I can guarantee you, if I call the agent on that house right now, they probably got 50 offers on it, 60 offers on it. That's $50,000 overpriced.
most of these things are contingent. Y'all see everything with the yellow is contingent. I just want y'all to understand what's happening. Like if I took away right now, how many houses is it? It's 118. So let me go ahead and remove hiding, contingent, or contingent. That gets us down to 38 homes. That's it. And I didn't even put a price limit, y'all. I just put DeSoto, Texas. And all that's available is 38 homes. And you see what they look like. Now we're up at 300. 300. These look like old rentals that somebody's just trying to cash out. This one like somebody put some work to it. 330. 330. I hate the virtually staged stuff. It looks
I would
terrible.
love to go see what these houses look like on the inside. My wife is working with a lady right now who's looking for a house in these areas. My wife has probably shown her every house that's
40
come on the market
houses.
in the last 60 or 90 days. We've been helping her for almost a year now.
Now you see how
Like,
these are shaped right here,
y'all,
which is
we get
ugly.
inside these houses, man. These houses be trash, man. And then the
This is
taxes in
500,000.
DeSoto are so high. Once DeSoto became known as a city where a lot of black people moved,
They raising
ironically, the
taxes.
taxes just shot up crazy. And I don't know. Some people say they did that to keep them out, keep black folks out. But they have like one of the highest taxes rates in the county.
It ain't make the schools better. Oh, and
I
somebody
remember
was
me and my
jamming in
wife
this
were looking
house.
at a house before we bought our house. We saw a house in DeSoto. It was a nice house. It was like 5-bedroom, 3,000 square feet, about 3,300 square feet. It was a nice house.
Hmm.
The taxes on that house back then, 5 years ago, was like $8,000 a year. And then the taxes on the house that we bought, which was only like it was maybe $10,000 less, was like $5,000. That's that's $300 a month, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like just on taxes.
First of
Them
all, somebody
taxes
said,
now probably $10,000, $11,000.
they said, how are the real estate prices in cities like El Paso, Houston, McAllen? First of all, ain't nobody want to be in El Paso.
I've never
Nobody.
been to El Paso. I wouldn't know.
Is dirty. As a military kid, it's dirty. Houston is Houston. McAllen is further out. He said, "What y'all think
H-Town
about?"
is comparable to Dallas.
Uh huh. He said, "I'll buy physical real estate, but how can I manage it if I'm overseas?" Xanatos Clutch, you falling in love in Japan? Man, get your run from over there. Uh, how can he manage it, Xanatos Clutch? How can he manage it, Tim? One of these recovery houses.
You can hire a property manager. That's it. That's the answer. Hire a property manager. I mean,
Somebody said
I've
San
managed
Angelo
property. I
without
actually
a
had a
debt.
client who was stationed in Japan, and I managed his property.
Hmm.
I think he bought that house from Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, hire a property manager. Find somebody that knows what they're doing. It's easy to find people like that. You can always look them up and just follow them online. You can tell what a person's doing.
So listen, you guys. Whenever y'all start talking about public transportation, please let that go. Y'all come to Texas talking about where the public transportation. You have to drive here. I'm really sorry. If your grandma moving here, she got to drive too. Like it's just that's the type of area
They
we
got
in.
the parking ride in DeSoto.
And then you go get dropped off. Okay, so look, I won't try to hold Tim here all night, and I gotta
No,
drop
let's
in.
talk. I'm good.
No, I gotta drop in and do. I gotta drop in on the call in a second. Uh,
Sure.
but yeah, this guy said, I'm looking into investing in rental property for the long term. Is it still worth paying the higher price now or wait? How long should one wait before they break even on a rental property?
You guys,
When I buy it, I'm holding it forever.
can I answer that question?
Do it.
I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all this. Rent never goes down. I don't care what the market is doing. I don't care if interest rates are high. I don't care if the market crashes. Rent never goes down. Like rent always goes up, no matter what market you're in. Show me a market where rent has gone down. You can't. So even if you inflate the rent by 5, 10% every year, it's gonna always go up. Even
Mhm.
if you start losing value, your rent will always go up. So if you're looking at
Have
it
you
from a
seen them
rental
raggedy
perspective,
apartments?
huh?
Yeah. Do you ever see raggedy apartments with low rent? It's a reason.
You better get you a piece of property, hold on to it.
Ricardo Roper said, "Listen, how is Arlington regarding to Dallas as far as proximity, price, and safety?"
Arlington is, I mean, safety is safety in a metroplex. You're gonna always have, you know, city issues. Arlington is right between Dallas and Fort Worth. So you either gonna be 20 minutes to east to go to Dallas or 20 minutes west to go to Fort Worth, downtown at least when I say Fort Worth and Dallas. They're comparable. You got to think if you're on the 30 side, the I-30 side, you're going to be closer to the stadiums, being Texas Stadium, the Ranger Stadium, Six Flags, Hurricane Harbor, which is the water park. If you're on the 20 side, you're going to be more closer to like the South, if you will. So it just depends on where you go. The 30 side, the I-30 side is more older, it's more developed. The I-20 side is less developed. I mean, yeah, less developed, so you can find bigger homes, but the prices are comparable. You're not going to get a discount anywhere. Y'all not going to get a discount anywhere. Somebody says Cedar Hill. You're not going to get a discount in Cedar Hill. You're not going to get a discount anywhere right now.
Look,
Everywhere
I
is going to be
literally put
inflated.
lowest price, Prosper, Texas. We starting at 425.
I mean,
I literally put the lowest price
you.
just to
I mean,
start it.
yeah. Arlington has a. I guess they got a decent police department. Typically, when you have a decent police department, certain people get police a little bit more. So keep that in mind. you know, um, yeah. I wouldn't live in Arlington personally, but
No, I know people
But
that
I
moved
like
out
the
of
city.
Arlington.
I like hearing gunshots every night, and sirens. I don't know. I'm just a little weird. We moved back to where we moved at from the suburbs. The first night, I was like, we're home. So, you know.
For sure, for sure. All right, you guys, listen. I love bringing Tim on talking about Dallas. We'll see if Tim has a little bit of time to scoot over and talk with us about Philly too tonight. A little bit of Philly crime, what we can do to improve some of these areas because they have an tax hike right now. Um, Somebody said if you're looking to buy in Atlanta, I say wait. If in California, I say buy now. Back in 2008, Atlanta prices tanked by 50%. I just don't see that happening for Atlanta because they're not marketing to you. They don't want you to come there. They want other people to come there. Um, just to just
And
deal with it.
remember, College Park is not Atlanta. Lithonia is not
Decatur,
Atlanta.
not Atlanta. Dallas. Xander's said Dallas public transportation is actually decent for America and especially Texas. You can always bet on property near current or specially proposed train stations.
Oh yeah,
Uh, okay,
Dart has improved tremendously, but
okay,
that's been in the past 10 years. Prior to that,
it was
good luck.
terrible.
But we have a really good rail system now.
So anyway, but yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank y'all for making this show hilarious. Tim Jackson, where can they find you on the internets?
Man, take the comment down real quick so they can see. All right, put my name back on the screen. Take the comment down. Boom! Right there. Y'all follow your boy on Instagram at Tim Jackson. Now, I'm trying to. Erica has really been staying on top of me about my social media presence and my YouTube presence. So, guys, follow me on Instagram. I get the 10,000 followers by July. And then I need to get my Instagram page up. I think I'm like at 790. I'm trying to get to 1,000 like by the end of this month. So y'all follow me. Click on my page. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the comments. Can you pin the comment or no?
I think I can. Send it to me.
I just
Brandon
put
Scales
follow me
says,
right there.
"Yes,
Follow
I'm
your boy,
moving to
man.
Philly."
We're getting ready to. I'm launching a new campaign. We eliminating excuses, you guys. I'm really really kind of good on the culture. I have this whole F the culture campaign that I'm about to roll out right now. Uh, yeah, like the culture that we follow that just promotes the stuff that we promote, man. At some
Trash.
point in the game, we're gonna have to say it's bullshit. And so I'm linking up with a lot of people that's doing some dope things that ain't ball players, they're not rappers, they're not out there promoting violence, killing niggas and shit like that. Like they're promoting making money the honest way. That's what we finna put in front of our people, man. So like, y'all blame Erica, but I'm about to be. I'm finna turn up because Erica's been on me. So
Hey, you
follow
guys,
and support.
listen. Follow Tim Jackson. You can catch him out in the links below. Also, you guys, we're going to see if Tim Jackson has time to come join us for our Philly show because I know y'all always ask me about Philly. Philly, and his taxes getting a hike, and they got some crime wave going on. So we're gonna hit that with Mr. Ellis and Tim Jackson if you got time. But y'all, thank you. It's your girl Erica, Classy Clown Blog. It's been real. And that's right, Buckhead ain't Atlanta. Hold on, Tim.